Hello there, how have you been? How are you? It's Kensington 25 or William. Call me what you like as long as it's not too rude. It's been a while since I vlogged. Yes, I've put up the odd travel video, but I haven't actually talked about my own life for quite a while. A few of you have asked why. There's been quite a few reasons for that, some of them good and some not so good, and I'll go through the reasons in the next few months or so. But there's been a very good reason. I haven't actually been too well. And it's not the end of the world. People have far worse conditions than I've got. But it has affected my life in many ways, as well as other things that have been going on. But for the last 2 years, I'd say 2.5, 3 years actually, about 3 years ago, I remember I was lying down and I felt a pain in this arm. And gradually over a couple of years, it got worse and worse to the point where I couldn't really lift it very well above shoulder height without feeling pain. I couldn't put much weight on it. Even passing a jug of water to somebody, I would have to often use my left side instead of my right side because I found I had no strength in it and it was painful to lift things up. Without anything in my hand, I could lift both arms to the top, upright like that with both arms. But it was very difficult to actually bring the arm down, particularly the right arm down, without any pain. Then about December last year, I went to my doctor and he suggested I go to an osteopath, which I did, and that helped to an extent for a couple of months. I got a little bit more action, a little bit more movement on the right side, and I saw a deep tissue sports massage therapist as well, and that helped too. But I still didn't have full movement and there was still that pain. So in July this year, and it took so long I know to get a diagnosis, I went to a sports physician, a sports specialist, who gave me an ultrasound of both shoulders, my right and my left. Now please remember, the big problem, the main pain and lack of movement was in my right side, and he diagnosed me immediately, within 5 seconds. His words were, "That's very impressive." And I said to him, "Is that a good or a bad thing?" And he went, "Well, it's probably a bit of a bad thing. You've got a severe case of calcific tendonitis." Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a medical specialist. So in the box just below this video, I've put a link to sites which will go into detail what calcific tendonitis is. But basically, it's calcium deposits on tendons in your body, mainly the rotator cuff in the shoulder. That's where I've got it, on both sides, but particularly on the right side. So he sent me to a place in Harley Street in London, and I had what's called an ultrasound guided lavage. That means, to sum it up, a couple of needles are put in both shoulders, I think some saline solutions put in, and then they basically suck out the calcium, and then they put a cortisone injection in to sort of heal any inflammation, or rather help any inflammation rather than heal it. And I came home, I didn't really have much pain for the first day, I didn't take any painkillers, and my arm was absolutely perfect. I had full movement, I had no pain at all, I had nothing, no problems whatsoever. Then I went to France about just over 5 weeks ago, and about a month ago on my second week in France, I felt this absolute agony. It went from feeling like a bit of a sprain towards feeling very, very tight. I could hardly move my arm at all, towards total agony. I've never felt such pain. I split my head open before, I've hurt myself, whatever. I've never known pain like this. It was absolute agony. I didn't sleep for 5 days. So on my last day in France, I took myself to a local doctor who helped me a bit. He gave me some cortisone pills and he gave me some codeine, which helped numb the pain. The cortisone was supposed to numb the inflammation, etc. Within half an hour of taking the cortisone, the pain somewhat did subside, though I had really no movement, and there was still a certain amount of agony, quite a bit in fact. I also had a sling. I came back to London. I saw the osteopath and a deep tissue massage therapist who said yes, they could see it was pretty serious. I went to see the specialist again, the sports physician, on the Saturday, and he said, "You've had a flare-up of your calcific tendonitis." He said, "We've tried pretty much everything, and I'm going to give you a cortisone injection. Come back in a couple of weeks, but at the moment I think surgery, hopefully arthroscopic keyhole surgery, will be the main thing to basically excise all the calcium in my shoulder, because basically what the lavage did was it only removed some of the calcium because I had so much, but where the calcium had been removed, the calcium that was still in the shoulder had replaced it, so I'd had a bit of a flare-up. What caused that flare-up, we don't know. Also, what causes calcific tendonitis, most doctors and scientists aren't sure. There are various theories, though none of them as yet proven. So he gave me the cortisone injection. That took about 72 hours to kick in. And for about 6, 7 days, 8 days, the inflammation was a lot less. I felt a lot less pain, and that was pretty wonderful. Although there was still a certain amount of constant aching and agony, but a lot less. It was a lot inferior, and so I had some relief. Then, as I say, about 8 days later, it started flaring up again, not as bad as it had been in France, to the point where I was still in agony, and I had very little movement of my shoulder, pretty much no movement at all on my upper arm. So I could really only, move my arm to waist height. Don't forget the left side's affected as well, but not so badly, although that's been giving me some pain too. And the upshot is that on Monday, here's the upshot, on Monday the 8th of October I'm going to see the surgeon. My specialist is quite concerned because it's so serious that I might need open surgery rather than keyhole. But as I say, right now I can hardly move the shoulder at all. I can't really move the upper arm. I can move a little bit the underarm and write things and stuff. So it's not as bad as it was in France. But I really want to get it sorted. Of course I'm pretty worried. But basically that's what I've been up to. I can't travel at the moment. I'm limited to what I can do. And at the moment I'm not on any painkillers. I've had them prescribed. I should also mention I was given an anti-inflammatory. I had an allergic reaction, or at least a bad reaction. I had diarrhea, a runny tummy, and a couple of asthma attacks, so I'm not on those. I started taking some prescribed painkillers again, which I'd been given by both my GP and by the specialist. I haven't needed them for about the past 24 hours or so, because although there's still constant ache, it's not so bad at the moment, and I'm counting down to see the surgeon. But the condition I've got is calcific tendonitis. I'm hoping I won't need open surgery, and it'll just be keyhole surgery. But for any description on calcific tendonitis, I've put a couple of links below. Please check them out. But that's why, and in fact that's the main reason, I've not been vlogging so much. And there's lots more to tell you. But from me, Kensington 25, William, I hope you're keeping well, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Please do comment down below. Thanks very much. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.